1. Welcome to the Kyoyu No Podcast. Today I'm joined by Pacifist Pineal Monk, Grand Wizard Lemon Wizard, and Privateer Gorilla. As I delve into the vast battlefield that is gaming, arts, and media, grab your gear and prepare to go on a sortie. And there's that. Which, even though Jeffrey's not, Gorilla's not joining us, but hey.
He's here.
Maybe use that as the pre-recorded.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so, first on the list, this is... Oh, fuck, where's my phone? I believe first on the list is going to be the Pokemon Go.
Yes. The hype is real.
It's like, we talked briefly about it, like, last week, but we didn't really know too much about it, so... I'm actually excited for this now.
I did a little bit of looking into it, and it's definitely something I'm gonna do.
What were your initial reactions?
It was, how did he describe it? I believe he said it was like a virtual reality, like, Pokemon thing. So, I didn't think too much of it with, like, that description. At the time, I couldn't, like, find the video and scroll through everything I was working on at the same time, so I didn't really see too much of it. It just sounded like, okay, we've got, like, a bunch of Oculus Rift things going on right now, I understand. But from what I've seen, this shit looks epic.
No, it looks pretty fucking cool.
My initial reaction was, okay, this looks kind of stupid.
Stupid?
I mean, I would love to have Pokemon on my phone, other than, like, an emulator, because I don't like carrying around my DS, but... Like, initially looking at it, I was like, okay, this is gonna be some, just some simple little thing. Which, it kind of is, but... After I did a little bit more digging into it, and my opinion quickly changed, and now I cannot wait. I do have some things I'm worried about on it, but other than that, I'm definitely gonna give this a shot.
Well, what changed your mind? Just curious.
I just looked more into it, and, like, thinking about it, I was like, this would be actually pretty fun, just, pull out my phone, check on my Pokemon, do a couple little battles here and there, and then, continue on my day.
So you like the convenience of it? Like, it's something
that's... The convenience. Like, a DS is convenient, but I don't like carrying that bulky thing in my pocket.
See, I'm used to that, but I understand. For me, like, I was excited right off the bat because I was already, like, super into anything that involves an alternate reality, or in this case, augmented reality, which, of course, the trailer is really polished and is showing, like, oh, really pretty things and Pokemon everywhere to get people hyped for it. That's the point of the trailer. So, like, even though I'm super excited for it, and I think it has the potential to be something super amazing, it could also be not nearly as good as everyone's expectations. Because with that video, they set kind of a high standard.
One of the few things I'm actually worried about with it was if when you watch the video, you see, like, all these little arrows popping up, like, oh hey, it's this far this way, or whatever. Which, I mean, in some areas, that's pretty nice, but that means if you don't go outside your area, really, you might just see the same things. Like, that's one thing I'm worried about, is, like, if there's Pokemon are confined to certain areas where they should be.
Okay.
Like a rock Pokemon in a rock area, etc., etc.
I hope not, because where we live, we're not going to get too many of those rock types.
No, we're not.
Not in most places. What it seemed like both in the description and in the video, is like it looks like they're going to try to have Pokemon appear in places that are relevant to them, like their types, their biospheres, I guess. But considering that not everybody is traveling the country 24/7, I think they're gonna give a little give, I guess, so you can just go to, like, the other side of town, you'll happen to find something, or, like, just because you live in a city doesn't mean you can't find a Charmander or something like that. I feel like they'll make some exceptions.
Well, one of the things is, in the article I read, I think it was on Kotaku, they quoted, I don't remember what the name was, but one of the guys said, "Well, imagine finding a Squirtle in San Francisco, a Bulbasaur in Shinjuku, or a Pikachu under the Eiffel Tower." So I mean, judging just from that, I mean, they should definitely give some give and pull here, like, because obviously not everyone's gonna travel everywhere. I mean, some people will travel everywhere to get every Pokemon. I have no doubt.
Like, this is just a quick tangent. When this happens, like, if it's as good or good enough compared to my expectations, I'm going to drop so many things just to do this. Like, if I'm in the middle of something and I see something that's worth going for, or like something I just want, I'll leave class, or like I'll leave the bathroom, I'll get up from the toilet, I'll leave my computer, I'll leave work, because there's something outside I want to go and catch.
See, that's the thing. It's like, okay, I'm like if it works, just like in close proximity, it's like, okay, hey Ben, you want to go hang out? Let's go drive around random places and see what we can find.
Yes.
See, that shit sounds nice, but at the same time, I'm just not thinking about it mainly because of that road trip I had to do Saturday, Sunday. It's like, now I'm kind of feeling like the roads, like anyone that does those kind of trips normally, that's gonna become full of traffic, which that's gonna hurt in my eyes, mainly because majority of that road, whenever I've gone to Orlando, I went like 120s, like straight out. I fucking floored that shit. This time I went the speed limit because I was following someone, but now we're looking at people going on road trips to find these new Pokemon. At the same time, then, like, think about, like, certain gas stations where they're at, like, their locations right there. You go to a gas station where you're used to seeing, like, maybe 1 or 2 trucks and whatnot because, they're on the fucking road and whatnot, or like the rest areas, how you see a couple of families, but you don't see it, like, packed.
Oh, it's gonna be teenagers everywhere.
Not just teenagers everywhere. Teenagers everywhere running
Young
around
adults.
with their phone. Yeah. Young adults is actually more accurate when you think about it.
Obviously anyone can get the Pokemon Go and the Go Plus and join and play if they have, like, the means to play it. But watching the advertisement, it's directed towards the people that grew up with it. They're like, wow,
Yeah.
this thing that you immersed yourself in as a kid is now going to be some kind of reality for you.
Well, bringing that up, in the advertisement, there's no Pokemon past Gen 1.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. I was getting there. Is that...
Huh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it took me a moment, and then I saw, like, Mewtwo. I was like, well, Mewtwo is kind of like a quintessential legendary Pokemon, but looking around, they're all Gen 1, which makes me think that it's either... I mean, it would definitely start off with that, and maybe later on they would update it and add some more. Or maybe it's always going to be Gen 1, just to keep it simplified.
I think they're going to have to add in the other gens at a certain point, but right off the bat, Gen 1 would be the best way to start it, because it is aimed at the young adults who grew up with Gen 1 and 4 on. So, I mean, it would start Gen 1, and then they later add, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 37.
Alright, so I won't be getting into until Gen 2 comes out. Alright, so I'm done. Gen 2 was probably my favorite as far as, like, the Pokemon they introduced. Like, Gen 3 had some nice things, but Gen 2 by far outweighs it.
Gen
3 was Mudkip, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Gen 3 is where I'll be heavily in there.
I really like Gen 3 too. That was a big chunk of my childhood. I spent tons of hours on, like, Emerald and Sapphire. But Gen 2 has always, like, stuck with me because that's where I started. I started with Silver version, and even right now I'm playing, I mean, not now while we're doing this, but I'm playing Pokemon Crystal, and it's still...
right now.
Yeah. Like, it's just as great as it was. And, like, you know what?
Like,
Gen 1 comes out.
Go ahead, continue.
Oh, you go ahead.
I started in Crystal myself, so that gen is I do love that gen, but a majority of my time was in Pokemon Emerald.
I started in Yellow, so fucks with it, bitches.
Yellow after Silver, and then Blue version. It was really weird.
I had Yellow as a little kid, and then I believe I had Gold and my sister had Silver, and then after that I went Sapphire. So that was my progression, and then I went to Heart Gold.
I wasn't allowed
That's
to
a
have
big jump.
Pokemon when I grew up.
That's so
So
sad.
I played when I could, which the first one I could was Crystal, my friend let me borrow, and then Emerald, which I had from my friend as well for like 2 years. And I'd play that every night before I went to sleep.
I remember losing my gold. It had so many level 100 Typhlosions.
Like the original gold, silver, and possibly crystal, the duplication glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that too.
Oh god, full team of level 100 Typhlosions, and I had another team of level 50 Typhlosions whenever I went to go battle like a friend.
People steaming when I go to whatever summer camps or things that I would go to do, hang out with friends during the summer, and I would bring my link cable. I'm like, oh yeah, you want to battle? Yeah, sure. My team's gonna wreck you, they would say. Oh, here's my unfair team, or here's this Mew that I got from somebody that had a Game Shark.
But what you call it? So, the events. Like, at the end of the trailer, it had Mewtwo. But at the same time, like, all the screens around it started flashing, showing the event. So
Well,
I'm wondering, what's that supposed to actually portray, like, in real life? Like, will they actually have some screens that it will be able to interact? Like, because emergency broadcasts can take over things, like, a lot, often.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So,
emergency. This, like I noticed in the trailer, and Kyle brought it up, where it's showing the directional things on walls and such, as if you're already wearing glasses, like virtual reality glasses, which you're not. That's probably going to be on your phone, and it's going to have.
It's going to be augmented reality, not virtual reality. So it's going to be wherever your phone is facing, which going to the Mewtwo thing is, they could possibly do it so where if you were aiming at a TV screen, it would overlay the TV screen with Mewtwo. But only when your phone camera is facing it. You would see it through your phone.
Yes.
it also makes you wonder whether or not they can do glasses. Because I already see, like, the watch thing that's supposed to help out with this. But...
Yeah, the Plus.
What is it? Skimming through it right now. It's for when you're not looking at your smartphone. The device connects to the smartphone via Bluetooth and notifies the player about events in the game, such as the appearance of a Pokemon nearby, using a LED and vibration. So that's how the watch works. So I'm wondering whether or not they're actually going to do glasses as well, so that way you get that look around and you see, like, these arrows that say, hey, go this way.
Kind of like
Not
Google
right.
Glass, but for Pokemon specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, or like a Google Glass with the application. But
Let's
right off
avoid
the
that.
bat, no. Considering how soon this thing's coming, they would have already mentioned some kind of glasses. That doesn't mean it couldn't
Isn't
come
it-
later on, but
Isn't it early next year?
yes.
Oh, do you have
Okay.
a quarter? All I see is 2016. So it's first quarter, or
It's probably first or second.
I didn't.
I don't think they gave a specific date, really. I thought
No,
it
I
was
don't know the
early.
specifics. I don't think there has been an official specific release date for the U.S., but it is 2016, and that's soon enough. But
Actually, scrolling down to the bottom of the page, Pokemon Go will be available for download at no charge on the App Store and Google Play in-app purchases. So it is possible that they could just use the Google Glasses and bam, have the app for it.
Yeah. Because the app is free. The Plus is going to cost you, which, I mean, I'll buy the Plus, no problem.
I mean, I can't look at my watch at work, or can't look at my phone at work,
Yeah. The only thing is, the microtransactions, which, the way I see those, is probably going to be, you need either potions or Pokeballs or whatever. Because I don't see them giving you an unlimited amount of those.
I'm hoping for an unlimited amount of normal Pokeballs, because as we saw in the trailer, there was, the Great Ball and the Ultra Ball as well. So I'm hoping at least base free you can get that normal Pokeball. Because we saw battling in the trailer as well, and... I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I never really bought the Great Balls and the Ultra Balls. I caught everything with the normal Pokeball.
no,
I buy
don't
straight
do
Ultra
that
Balls.
sometimes, but no, I would definitely buy my Ultra Balls and stock up on those.
Oh, never mind that.
It depends on what gen we're talking about, because there's the when you get into the different kinds, like timer balls and such. I would buy some of the specialty balls.
I didn't
But
start
the
using
trailer-
Ultra until the 3rd gen. I grew up, so I had a better understanding.
The algorithm changed for catching, so it is different. But in the trailer, like when they're showing people catching Pokemon, I believe it was the first guy, and it shows his inventory with potions and such. He had 15 regular Pokeballs. So there has to be some kind of currency, and you would just get it from winning battles, I assume. Or
Yeah, that's what I would assume is you get there's gonna be the in-game currency, but there's also gonna be, oh hey, I don't have enough to buy Pokeballs, but there's this Pokemon I really want like right around the damn corner. Let me just go in and spend like $1 to get 5 more Pokeballs.
yeah, I could definitely see that being a thing.
God.
And also finding items on the ground, possibly.
Maybe.
I was talking about that with my cashier, and like that'd be pretty cool. You're just kind of walking around, say, the town center here in Florida, and you're wearing your little Pokemon Plus, and it buzzes, and you go, okay, something's happening. You pull out your phone, and just while you're looking at it, it says, look this way. And you look at the ground, there's a little Pokeball. And you just go and you pick that up, and say you get like a potion or a rare candy or whatever.
Great, now I gotta watch out for, make sure I don't trip over someone trying to pick up a Pokeball that's not really there.
Like, from someone who is completely unaware of this, like maybe an elder person that has never heard of Pokemon, they just see a bunch of people hobbling around and hunting things that aren't there, they're gonna think the world's going to pieces.
I can just
be
imagine
hilarious.
being out somewhere, like an open mall somewhere, and just trying to cross the street and then just tripping over some jackass who stopped in the middle of the road to pick up like a Pokemon. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Come on.
Which that makes me think of I mean, obviously there are tons of jokes already because it's only been a week or two, and it's all about how it can go wrong is what I'm seeing. So like, oh man, I gotta leave my college class to go catch some Pokemon or join a battle, or there's something in the road I want to get, and there's a car coming. Or just all kinds of things that would lead to some kind of death or injury or something.
Ma'am, you can't be in the kitchen. But there's a fly going in the soup. Holy shit, really?
I saw that. It's just...
I think my favorite one was, it was a list of things to do when Pokemon Go came out. And the main ones that stuck out in my mind was randomly walk up to strangers and challenge them to battles. Just like in the game, how the second someone walks into your line of sight, bam, yo, dude, we're fighting now. I don't care. And then take their money afterwards.
Take
I just imagine people getting punched after that. Like, dude, go away.
What if you steal people, like, if they have Pokemon you want, there's gonna be another Team Rocket, you steal people's phones, and
Oh
go.
my god, that would be so horrible. And then, the last piece of, his list of things to do was to build a gym, so that way, and, make badges, so that way, every time someone beats him, to just, give out a badge, like that. That right there would be so worth it. I'd love to record something like that, but I don't know if you guys heard. Apparently, Nintendo's cracking even harder on their policies, but we'll get to that later.
Alright.
Oh, great.
Oh, which reminds me, I need to make sure that video has a link to where that goes, because I did I posted up the trailer, forgetting about that completely.
I looked over there and was watching, and was like, okay. It was still there. But,
Also, the Snorlax on the bridge. It looked like she had just thrown her Gyarados out and said, yo, this Snorlax straight chillin', this dude ain't watching. So it makes you wonder if you could just have your Pokemon just out and about, you could just have your phone out and you just see your Pokemon just straight chillin', like Pikachu sitting on Ash's shoulder and shit like that. And whether or not someone can just be boom, sneak attack.
do you mean,
The other thing is,
hold on,
continue.
are you talking about your Pokemon or whatever you have going on in your app's vision? Would it be exclusive to you? Is that what you're saying? Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you look at it, when she goes to attack the Snorlax, there's 4 or 5 other people watching that. So would that mean that if you could have your Pokemon out, could other people see it? And if there's a battle going on between 2 trainers nearby, could you just pull your phone out, aim it over in that direction, and see 2 Pokemon fighting?
I don't know, because the trailer, obviously,
Has
is
a
going
lot
to be a
of
lot different than what it
fleshing.
really is. So, I wonder if it is going to be like the trailer where if something's out, if anything's active in the app, everything's integrated into the one big network that is the Pokemon Go, because it's all a Bluetooth thing. so anyone nearby would be connected. So
Yeah.
I feel like if you just wanted to have something out, like a Pokemon out, just to look at it, maybe you can keep it private. But if something like a battle, I feel it would have to be visible. If there's a Pokemon or any kind of event, of course, that would be visible. And it would just be a
'Cause I
matter
feel like
of
that would be
wants
pretty
to
cool.
would join. Yeah, that would make it more immersive, more of a augmented reality. Because if it's personal to yourself, then it's just another game.
And then everyone gets the Google glasses, and everyone forgets that there are no Pokemon.
Because what's great, yeah. What would be great is like if they could expand this to where you could see the Pokemon battling. At a certain point, they would literally have Pokemon tournaments. Where it would just be two people on their phones, and then on screens everywhere, you would see the Pokemon battling in an arena.
Oh man, talking about how esports is a big thing, like right now, it's going to go from League, Dota,
Before we
Heroes of the
continue
Storm.
this, as someone that has gone to tournaments, the main reason why those two things are big in esports is because they just have that large of a following. There are, in fact, Pokemon tournaments for like the DS and all that shit already
Oh,
going
yeah.
on. You
Yeah,
just,
Yeah.
it's just less publicized for whatever reason. Like you think that these games, like everyone's heard of Evo, everyone's heard of, well, I don't know if everyone's heard of CEO. I feel like that might just be the people who are already in the community, but it's Evo, and there's one more that's big as shit. Battle of the something. Fuck, I can't remember it.
I don't know, but
I
I
mean,
do
just
know.
recently the Pokemon tournament was in the news because those two guys showed up with guns.
What?
What?
Yeah, did you hear about that one?
No.
Team Rocket.
Basically, there was this Pokemon tournament about to go down, and these two contenders, like I guess, were talking shit to each other on a Facebook group, and one guy posted, "All right, well, I guess I'm gonna go shoot up the place," and he posted a picture of like a couple guns, an AR-15 and a shotgun in his trunk, like the day he was going there. He's like, "Well, I'm loaded up and ready to go." And that put, obviously security on high alert, and they went and they searched his car, and sure enough, he had the AR-15, the shotgun, and he had about 13 magazines worth of ammo for the AR-15 and a ton of ammo for the shotgun in the back of his truck.
What in the actual
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, so
This is why we
they
can't have
stopped
nice
that.
things.
He was kicked out. Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. Really though, a Pokemon tournament of
It's-
all places?
Any
If-
tournament, though.
It could be anything. Like if you have something wrong with you, you just need an
But there's
excuse.
little tiny kids there.
It doesn't
I
matter
hate
to
kids,
someone
but-
who's a psychopath or sociopath.
A path of some site.
Yes.
Freaking. Oh my god, I actually did not hear about that. Makes me kind of glad that most of the tournaments I go through don't have Pokemon going on, because I've already got to deal enough with, like, fucking breaks in fighting games.
Feel like that could get worse.
Oh god. Nah, I actually don't want this virtual reality Pokemon thing going on. I don't need a Team Rocket going on. It's like, I'm here for my, like, non-virtual reality tournament. Keep your shit over there, Team Rocket.
There's just like thinking about it right now. Obviously, there's so many thoughts and like everyone's imagination's going wild because we know so little about it. We've seen a trailer and a bunch of jokes. So until they release more information, we have no idea how complex or simple this game's going to be and which would basically determine how dangerous it could be. And I think they're going to be looking at all these jokes, or they've already thought of it ahead of time because they know what they're doing. We just don't know what they're doing. And that will determine whether we get hit by cars while going for Voltorbs. And
Oh, please, don't go for the Pokemon
I mean,
in the street.
chances are it'll run off like a GPS type system as well. Obviously they have to know where you are in comparison of where they want things to appear.
yeah,
So,
it's not like actually
they're gonna-
appear on the road.
Yeah, so I doubt anything's gonna like appear in the road. And if it does, it's like I'm sure you could probably just tap on your phone and like if there's a Pokeball, just grabs it or whatever.
Yeah, like they were throwing the Pokeballs from like decent distance away. Of course, I say throwing with air
Yeah,
quotes.
Like the Mewtwo scene when they had all the people throwing Pokeballs. It's like I can't throw that far if I tried.
Oh god, more events like that though. That's what I'm curious of how well that's gonna go down because it had everyone join and everyone caught it. So kind of makes you think.
I mean,
how often
you
will
kind
these
of
events
can't
be?
have a group like that and only one person get Mewtwo, because then it's like, someone's gonna get mad, someone's gonna punch that guy in the face and take his phone, and there's the start of Team Rocket.
What's that? World of Warcraft? I'm looking at you, boys. The loots, the raids.
Oh yeah, ninja looting. I had to think about it. I was like thinking through my WoW experiences.
I only did one raid once. It was the stupid Cataclysm Dragonsoul one. And some motherfucker took that shit. Nah.
No, that leaves people steaming. That is not the way to go. But I would assume, I don't know about ordinary wild Pokemon, but if it's an event, it would have to be shared. It's the only way.
Yeah, like an event, especially on that scale. Like I would assume it'd be like, hey, go to this location near you on this day, and an event's gonna happen. And, oh look, there's a legendary Pokemon. Go ahead and catch it.
It's like, I don't know. I'm getting pretty hyped for it, especially if they like do bring out those extra generations like we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
And then we're also ooh, wait. Sorry, I got distracted by a line inside the thing. I saw sci-fi and, mine goes off. But I'm also like wondering how in-depth it's going to be. Like if it's going to have that Pokemon setup where you could EV train it. Not this new EV training apparently where you go through and
No,
person.
I'm hoping there's no EV training because honestly, that's gonna turn me off from the whole thing. Because me, I play for fun, whereas a couple of my friends who play, they're like, "Oh man, I have like a perfect IV Umbreon that can, take on someone's entire team." Blah blah. Like, I don't ever want to fight you. Why would I want to do that and lose when I've just raised my Pokemon just to have fun?
For
Yeah.
that, I mean, EV training can be fun. If you don't do it, you don't do it. But in this, they're either not going to include it and make it as simple as it was in the first like couple of generations of Pokemon games, where it was a lot more subtle. It was still there, but it's a lot more subtle. Or in this, like it would have to be simplified in some way, or just there's not like the kind of thing where you're off grinding for hours, killing Geodudes to raise your defense.
Like the
Dude,
super training in what was it? X and Y.
Yeah,
I mean, that was kind of fun for a bit,
it
but
was a lot
at the
easier.
same time,
It was a way
yeah,
to
I'm not gonna spend hours doing that just so I can. When someone comes up on me to battle, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna kick your ass.
yeah. But that could also introduce the idea of like split things where you could have, like, say you battle somebody, it's a 6v6, and you can either have it custom or normal kind of thing. I guess normal would be without EV training involved, and if you happen to be someone into EV training, you could do a custom battle, and then that would apply any effort values that you've put into that team. That way
Yeah,
it adds more options.
And it's not that hard to actually just hit that switch too, especially seeing how they're just secret stats. All you really gotta do is, as long as you keep track of it in like your system, hit that undo button essentially.
I
Got,
imagine the app itself is probably going to have lots of features to it.
yeah. We should move on to the next topic. 'Cause we've been on this one for like 30 minutes.
No, we
45?
pretty much burned it out. There's not a whole lot more to say about it
yeah.
Yeah.
yet.
But it also gives us a nice segue because we're still in virtual reality, but we're not going
Yeah.
too much farther. All we're doing is going to let's start with the Oculus Rift because the Oculus Rift has been here for like it hasn't been out for the public for too long, but it's been here for like years. Plenty of like YouTubers. I don't-
Yeah.
Yeah,
YouTube.
is that the profession?
Yes.
Plenty of YouTubers. I don't know if anyone's streamed it yet, but plenty of people have like gone through, made videos. We have a very good idea of what is the Oculus Rift, and I don't know how. I mean, I've seen the videos both in like that one screen. I've seen it where they've got like the two eyes. I've seen one where it was. I'm trying to remember how he did it. He had the two screens, but he edited it in a way so that way you had a better feel of it. I think it was like he had just overlaid it at the right points. It's been a while since I watched anything with Oculus Rift because currently there's like a bunch of I don't want to say shit games, but they're not
Shit tier games.
they're not EA titles. They're not
Yeah,
like those
Yeah, there's
big
no-
brands.
AAA.
Yeah. So
I don't think there will be for quite a while.
not
It's
until
gotta
that
start
HTC Vive.
There's I looked at the website recently, and they showed like the games that it would start off with, and it's like I would still play them. It'd be like when I got my PS2, and it came with Jack and Daxter, Gran Turismo 3, and Sly Cooper, and the Thievius Raccoonus. So like they're not; those were actually good games, especially for their time. But like in this, it's going to be a game that's not necessarily bad, but it's just a way to teach you how the thing works. But at the same time, there's already tons of companies that are working on games fit for the Oculus Rift, so they would just happen to come out a little later.
It's like, isn't Steam also doing a VR thing?
Yeah, the Steam has I can't remember what they're calling it. There's also Project Morpheus, which isn't called Project Morpheus anymore. It's PlayStation something.
Oh,
It's a really boring name now. Project Morpheus was so much better.
Will you take the red pill or the blue pill? I mean,
Okay, Bane.
I don't know why I went to Bane, but my
Bane
brain
is
said-
now part of the Matrix.
Okay, so the Steam thing is the HTC Vive. So
Oh, the Vive is Steam.
Oh.
Okay.
yeah, so
Didn't know
Steam's behind that as well. So yeah, I'm definitely hyped for the HTC Vive.
I've heard many good things about it recently.
I've seen and heard glorious things. It's like you and I both have like gone through and listened to some podcasts previously of, I think it was PAX Prime came up recently.
That was PAX East.
Oh, PAX East.
I don't know. It's one of the PAX conventions.
Something came up recently where a bunch of YouTubers had gone through and they went and tried out this HTC Vive, which it wasn't until they all came back and told all their lovely viewers and like streamed their like podcast and done such and such that I've heard about this. And from the way they make it sounds glorious.
Very much so.
It's like I got a video up and ready, but I'm gonna wait a little bit because I also have too many tabs open right now.
Yeah, don't overload your setup there. But something like that. Like I didn't know about or maybe I did, and I might have just known about it through another article before it had an official name. But that kind of thing gets me really excited because in the video I watched, it was just the Disney animator showing like, oh, I use it for drawing. That way, it's not a 2D surface for me to draw on. It's free and open. But like, if it's capable of doing that, that means it's capable of doing lots of other things. Plenty of other design, like 3D design, obviously. Presentations, maybe even cinematics. But games for sure.
Okay.
So it's gonna be
The one I heard about from Gus from Richard, he was talking about, he went and did the little demo, and he said that there was one where he was essentially a plane operator. Like it was him standing off from this airport, and he was like guiding the planes down.
with the HTC Vive.
Yeah, with the HTC Vive. But
Is it
like he said that the visuals were so good that he had to actually like tell himself, "Oh, I can step on this airport and nothing's gonna happen." Like subconsciously, he said there was a point where I was like trying to guide some of the planes and I was having issues because I was too far away. And then he's like, I realized that this isn't real. I can move forward and move through it. So it worked well enough to where his brain subconsciously went, you can't step here.
That's interesting. So, like, augmented reality is literally a mixed reality between where we are right now and whatever the technology, whatever item you have is providing for you. So, I feel like whichever comes first, which I think Oculus Rift will be the first thing to come out.
I think that's
actually
commercially available first.
Yes, exactly. So, people are going to have to adjust, I think. If it's going to be something that's not just gaming, but like Google Glasses or the HTC Vive that has other appliances, you're going to have to adjust, like this guy.
Well, the thing is, the way that he's described the Vive is, it's a headset. You don't see anything outside of it.
Oh, that's right. I saw in the
Because
video.
they put him in a room, and it's like, okay, what do you see? And he's like, okay, I'm in a white room. And they said, hold on. And then all of a sudden, two controllers appeared in front of him. And he said he had no issue reaching out and grabbing those. And the announcer said, "You've just grabbed something that you've never seen in the real world." And he
That's,
said that whenever he was walking around, because he was obviously it was a demo space, he was in like a small room. But whenever he would walk forward, and whenever he got near a wall, a grid would pop up, like some of those like out of bound grids.
oh, okay, yeah.
So it takes in, the room around you, and it says, okay, there's something here, you can't go past that. So it's a headset you can't see out of, so it changes everything you see.
Okay.
At least
That
that's the way
was-
he's described it.
All right. With the HTC Vive, then that would be virtual reality. I want to say
It
not.
would be virtual reality, not augmented.
All right.
The Microsoft one is more augmented reality. Oculus is virtual reality because you don't see
Yes.
out of it. I don't know. I don't know about the other ones.
What was the Microsoft thing called again? I forgot.
I don't even remember.
Microsoft. Google, help me. Microsoft. Augmented reality. HoloLens.
HoloLens, that's right.
All right. Which.
Yeah, that one is definitely augmented reality.
Sorry, I'm just going through watching, like, this is just purely amazing what he's doing with the HTC Vive right now when he's just drawing, like, Ariel, like, 3D. It's like, he's got, like, the 2D lines. It's like he's doing a paintbrush, but due to the fact that it's 3D, he's able to, like, pull circles out and whatnot, and it looks glorious.
You could walk around it, look at it from all angles. So it's like, oh, there's a little bit of like detail I want to add here. Let me move this, or let me draw on it from this angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the artwork was like they like at the end of the demo, apparently like that you get to choose two options in the beginning. Which do you prefer, Portal or do you prefer Dota? And I didn't hear much about the ending of either of those. But it was like at the very end before they did that, you got like everyone messed with the paint setting, and it was like obviously you can draw like 2D, but you can also obviously you move your arm forward and backward and it draws 3D as well. And that was something that quite a few people had to get used to, is drawing in 3D.
Like, I don't even know how you could do that. That shit is...
No, that would be a completely different style of art, I want to say, because watching the video, like obviously he's drawing what would normally be 2D figures, but when you look at it, there's layers to it almost, just to give it a sense of depth. But even in the description, it was saying like if you're the kind of person that at most is going to only draw like a stick figure, like not really try, but draw a stick figure, you're probably not going to take much out of it, because that is true flat object. But if you're someone that's, I don't know, like dabbles in drawing in any sort of way, you would be able to make something that could appear 2D, but when you go into it, it has 3 dimensions to it. You can look at it from any angle. It can be changed from any angle. It's more of how they worded it as a sculpture of a drawing.
Yeah. I mean, even me, as someone who doesn't draw, I think I would have quite a bit of fun with that, just experimenting with, like, just kind of drawing in 3D. It sounds very interesting to me.
I could see it also being for those that don't draw or don't really have any kind of art involvement, because it's something that is technically brand new in terms of art. It could probably be something for someone who hasn't done anything. It could be their thing, just because you're taking the controller and moving it through an open space. Like there's nothing really there.
I think the main thing I'm looking forward to is the games that are going to come with it. Because with those games, that's just one step closer to our dot hacks, essentially.
Yes. Oh my god. No, that's my number one
I just
thing.
want sword art. Sword art.
Dot hack's better.
Log
What?
Horizon.
I've never watched it.
You
Log
should.
Horizon, yes. Log Horizon.
Good. I haven't watched it, but I've watched like some of the first episode.
I've only read like the first novel of it, and I refuse to go watch it because I love the novels, so I'm not watching any of it.
Well, yeah,
I love
but
the anime,
Log
it's so
Horizon's
nice.
another good example of it. But Dot Hack, you should look at that. I think you'd really like it.
God, that
But
dot hack
leading
brings
into
memories.
that conversation, full dive technology from
Yes.
augmented and virtual reality.
Which that they had that kind of thing in Dot Hack well before Sword Art was a thing. But
Well, yeah, but I've never watched Dot Hack, so.
I know, but I wanted to be clear. This idea, the idea of virtual.
Yeah, I know Dot Hack came first.
Okay. but the idea of virtual reality in games has been a thing for generations, I want to say. Like, even back in the
Tron.
90s, we tried. Yeah,
Yes, Tron, actually.
exactly. Um, there was the concept, and then in the 90s, we actually did a thing. I think it was called, like, the Virtual Boy. It was a Nintendo thing where they
Oh,
tried.
that flop.
Yes, it was awful. They tried it, but it's still, like, a step. The fact that they did it means that they
Yeah.
made some kind of progress.
Especially with the technology back then, though.
Oh, it
Oh
was
my
very
god.
limited, but they still did something. It was a very tiny ass screen, and everything was like red or maybe black if it had.
Yeah, it was all in red and it was like red lines but black backspace.
And so not only was it like non-immersive because of the small screen and all the black space around it, but it caused all kinds of like eye problems if you used it for too.
Yeah.
Like it was actually dangerous to use. It was very experimental. But needless to say, that's people have been trying to do this forever, and our computer technology has just been improving year after year. So now we're at the point where we can do this kind of thing, and it is immersive, and you can actually enjoy yourself and not hurt yourself playing these games. So I'm thinking Oculus Rift, being the first thing that's going to be commercially available, will be the first virtual reality that's going to be a trend. It's going to be a thing that lots of people buy and like, wow, this is like the new kind of game.
I feel like Oculus is it's gonna be the first commercially available, but with all the good things I've heard about the Vive, once that becomes commercially available, I feel like the Vive is, especially because it's Steam is also,
Yeah.
Yeah,
supporting
Steam
it.
backing
It's gonna
it.
and so with Steam backing it, it's gonna get a lot further. Like Oculus is owned by Facebook.
Yeah, now it is.
So
I forgot about that.
it's gonna get a lot of, hey, look, it's out, come by, here's some advertisements, blah blah blah. But
When people find out.
Steam is gonna be like, okay, you're actually on Steam to play games. Here, check out ours. It's made for this.
Like, what is it? Seems out like that, it's not dashboard, I can't remember. It's a mode I never fucking use because it just takes my big
Oh,
picture
big
mode.
screen or big picture?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like they've got that mode. So it's like you've got your Vive on your head, and then boom, big picture mode. You're just surrounded by all your games. Just reach out, grab it, and just like boom, I'm in. I'm in here
I'm in
playing like Dirty
Counter-Strike.
Bomb or Counter Strike. I'm shooting zombies in Left 4 Dead.
I could definitely
Killing floor.
say, like, Oculus Rift is like, I can't really call it a pioneer, but it's the first thing, and then
It
this,
was the first.
It was the first
Yes.
successful thing.
it
At
is
least.
a step in the right direction, and then HTC is another competitor, and then it's going to keep going because HTC's Vive is definitely not the last. It's going to keep on improving. It's going to continue to be developed in different ways as we improve our technology.
Freaking-
But I'm definitely getting
Um,
Oculus Rift.
One of the podcasts since they're talking about the virtual reality movies.
mm. Ooh.
I've actually heard nothing of this through
Um,
anything.
There's only a couple like short films that are actually virtual, like Oculus Rift supported and whatnot, and apparently one of them is
Oh wait, I think I
a rape simulator almost.
right.
It's like your person is like being almost sexually assaulted, and it's kind of bring awareness to it. I think that was it. Don't 100% quote me on that
That's
one.
interesting.
But
That's
there was a couple like other like Western almost Oculus Rift movie, which I mean, the idea is interesting, but I don't think it'll work out very well because movies is very okay. This is happening here. This is all you can see. So obviously you're taking in the story. If you're in like a 360 movie, it's like I'm gonna look over here while there's an action scene going on over there.
Oh, wait, I think I have a general idea what you're talking about, because I remember, there was a music video that was, that had the same thing, and,
Welcome by Fort Minor
was that it?
is one. Yeah, that's one. There might be a couple others out there, but that's the one. That's the one I first saw in 360. And it's funny because I was on my smartphone and I was playing Xbox at the time, and I had it just sitting on my knee, and I didn't know it was a 360 video. But I look at my knee, and it's just like this music video is all of their feet. This sucks ass. And then I pick it up, and I'm like, holy shit!
It's like that shit. Now, putting that into movie prospect, that actually has some, like, almost said intense potential, but we get the point from my poor phrasing.
The only thing is the way that the way you film movies would have to change, and the way that you like write scenes almost would have to change because you'd have to have something going on like all around the person at all times during the movie.
Well, I feel like the scene writing wouldn't have to change too much because think about the film directors that like put that intense detail, like the Studio Ghibli films. Granted, yeah, that's still just animation, but it's by far my favorite. Like I have a long list of like DVDs and Blu-rays I need to buy from them still, and I'm like 21, so it's
Yeah.
just they take into account like so many things, and it wouldn't be too hard just to be like, well, here's the story we want you to follow, and here's just like people doing their daily like day-to-day actions. As far as real-time filming goes, that I might see there being a problem because, like, if you're in the city of New York, I guess I don't know how hard it is for them to do like the skyscrapers. I know some art directors have done the CG for it. I know some people have done like the small replicas. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like, for the people who do the replicas, that's probably gonna be no like big of a deal because all you gotta do is just build both sides and then just turn the camera around so that way you have both sides in the video. But as far as the CG goes, I guess that would end up being more expensive as well.
Um, Another thing, like the way I see it is, it could be very well done. Say you're watching, I don't even know what type of movie it'd have to be, but like you're like the main scene is going on like it's the people like are in like a restaurant or whatever, talking, having dinner. The I think it'd be interesting is if like the way they wrote it is if like while you're looking around, you might notice things that could be important later on in the movie but aren't necessary. I don't know. I feel like if they did like not necessarily Easter eggs, but like you could notice something that it doesn't change how you see the story, but it's like, oh, okay, that was like that leads to this later.
Okay, so like trying to remember, just like little hints, like how people do it now in like their game. Has anyone watched any gameplay of Until Dawn or played any of it?
I've watched a lot of gameplay.
Well, there's like all these like small little visual details like without even if you don't pick up the items itself, like if you watch and look around visually, there's just like these small tiny hints that you could have the whole story figured out within like 10 minutes of playing the game kind of ordeal. So stuff like that essentially is like if you're paying attention to the background, you're like, bam, some dude's gonna be dying like in 5 minutes because there's this
Yeah,
guy in the
kind
back
of.
corner that's got a knife.
Yeah, kind of. That would be a really interesting thing, like just to see that. Like a good example, and I'm gonna bring up an old ass movie for it is Beverly Hills Cop. I don't remember which one it is, but Eddie Murphy being followed by like two other cops, and they go into a nightclub, and they're talking, and like one interesting thing is like say like that same kind of scene, and in that scene two people come in, and Eddie Murphy notices that they're acting strange, and they have guns under their waistband. It's like so say you're just watching a scene, you kind of look over and you see like the door open, you see like a strange figure walk in with a gun, but no one else notices. Like okay, something bad's about to happen. That way when they step in, it's not from nowhere really.
Hmm. It's like, yeah, that. It also would mean, however, that some of our directors need to step up their game. Because there's always, like, that one thing that tries to do that old Western thing, and it's like, oh, is that a Ford pickup truck in the background I see? So, when that does start happening, I'm definitely going to be more interested, because that means there's going to be less of those moments like, wait, this doesn't fit here at all because I'm watching a sci-fi movie and this thing's got like I don't know something magic. Oh no, sci-fi has everything. You can't deny anything in a sci-fi movie.
There's magic off to the left, and
It's just more science.
Gladiator, how you can see the cameramen in the stands.
Oh my god. But go.
it's what to say on the note of like a virtual reality kind of movie. If you're immersed into the movie that way, if I really like a movie, then I'm going to be immersed either way. But I don't watch a whole lot, and I don't like sitting still for that long. So if it was something like if I'm placed in there and there's more to look at that actually requires a little bit more of my involvement, or at least I could be more involved, I'd probably be able to sit through it a lot easier. I would enjoy the
Yeah,
movie
like
more.
I don't watch movies at home for that reason. Like if I go to the movie theater, obviously I just paid $10 to go watch the movie. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
But at home, I'll get through maybe like 30 to 45 minutes of a movie. Like, all right, I'm bored.
Oh, see, I can watch movies all day, all night. I've done this before at home, like from the nicety of my couch or bed, as my current living situation is.
kind of thing. I think if I'm like with people I enjoy, and then there's more than just like sitting there going on. But if it's just me and I'm left to myself, it's like okay, like Kyle said, I'll get 40 minutes in. It's like I want to do something.
Yeah, like I can't watch movies, but I can watch 6 hours of anime straight.
That's a different category.
That's different. It's different because it's like I'm watching 30 minutes to be continued. Okay, I have to know what happens. It's not like you're watching 30 minutes of a movie. It's like, all right, stay tuned for next week.
Yeah.
I hope this does mean that the quality of our movies will go up, because that's the other thing. Because the only time I ever get restless like you guys is if I'm watching a movie that just cannot hold me. Period. End of story. I'm trying to think of something, but obviously the movie can't hold me, so I'm not gonna remember the name of it. But it's like when I've rewatched Spirited Away more than 19 times. There was one day as a kid I watched it from when I woke up to when I went to sleep.
What
Just
the hell?
over and over and over again, just because
You're weird.
I just love this story that much, and to this day, I don't own it anymore, but I've watched it twice in a row before one day. It's like, I love this story that much. I have, Coraline. I've seen that movie probably like 5 times already, and I can watch it once more, no problem, without getting restless or bored, because these are just stories I love to watch.
That's
So,
understandable. If it's something that you
hopefully this means that we'll be getting better movies with less explosions and unnecessary explosions that aren't needed.
First off, I love the Avengers.
obey.
Hey man, I didn't say anything about the Avengers. I just
Well,
said
the thing is, Iron Man, the first one, I actually watched that in theaters 2 times in one day, and then a third time the next day.
Damn.
That was a movie I thoroughly enjoyed, and I could probably still watch it, that whole thing through, without getting bored.
yeah, because it was, as far as you're concerned, it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Plus, I like Robert Downey Jr.
I feel like I might have left a little bit off in the air there.
Pretty good.
Just saying, it's like Michael Bay's not a horrible director, but there are some things that I felt like aren't as grand.
Don't get me wrong, the Transformer movies got really shitty in the end.
There was, well, actually, no, I'm not even bother joining on that tangent because we're trying to stay straightforward this time around. But so yeah, my hope is that story writers will fucking step up their game when we enter this new age of virtual movie watching reality. You had a name for it, I forgot.
If it ever becomes a thing, because right now it's only a very small, like, indie films. Like, no big director has gone out and said, hey, I'm gonna spend all this money to record a 360 movie.
Well, I mean, it always starts with indies. The first couple
Yeah.
games, probably indie people. I wouldn't know. I'm not that old. I want to say Pong, but I feel like I might get like murdered down if I'm wrong about that.
Virtual reality Pong.
No, I meant like first games.
You could call it indie. It wasn't really a company as much as it was just a company of people.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it was like it wasn't like some big nose company that made like the first video game. It was probably someone that was like, "Yo, let me try this," and then shared it to a friend, and then that friend shared it. Think Minesweeper. Like, I'm trying to think of what kind of company would have made Minesweeper.
Some company in the early 90s.
It was like it probably wasn't that large of a company. They probably got big, but the company itself,
From Minesweeper.
from a game that no one understands how to play. I've
It's
understood.
on every computer. Every Microsoft computer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't on my Mac. Had to download it.
I don't think I have Minesweeper.
Alright, so you guys
Never
want to take
seen.
a short break, or we got more to say?
On that topic, all the virtual reality and such, I think that's all I have.
Well, yeah, we could just lead right into the indie on that, because that is the indie and early access, and then Battleborn are the last 2 topics on the
on
Yeah,
our
messages.
agenda. So, we'll be right back. We're going to be taking just a little snack break, a little drink break, or a little potty break, whatever you want to call it.
Need to pay.